What's up, guys? I hope you're all well. Chadeo here. Today, I'm back to my headphones. I got a Windows update, and now recording through OBS and through my speaker. For some reason, my microphone is picking up the sound and creating a reverb, so until I can find the solution, back to the headphones. Well, let's get into the Ricky Gervais Show, Season 1, Episode 9, The Jockey. Let's go.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais.
This is one of
Stephen
the coolest
Merchant.
intros of any shows I've ever seen.
A little
I love
round-headed
it.
buffoon. That
Good.
is Karl Pilkington.
All right.
I wonder if we should have a jingle for questions for Karl, because there's a lot of questions coming in for Karl.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, chimpanzee, that question's for Karl.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough, that works. This is
That's
from
so
Jim Ball in
good.
Manchester. Karl, if you could talk to any animal, which one would it be and what would you say to it?
Insect, animal, anything, fish, anything.
Well, they said animal, but
Anything.
let's broaden it to anything.
Animal.
creature.
Insect is an animal.
Yeah, no, but I'm just, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm just thinking about
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff out there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go for the tortoise.
Okay.
That's
It
a
would take
weird
a long
one.
time to walk away from you while you were talking.
Exactly.
Most animals would be off straight away.
Yeah.
Just because they live for ages, so they'll have loads of stories. They've lived through a lot. You know what I mean?
True.
Through wars and stuff. If you get an
Well-
old one, if you get like an old one, that's about
Yeah.
100
Most of them have
something.
lived in a box in a garden for 52 years.
No, but you get some that have been about, and even if it's in a box,
Oh yeah,
you can overeat.
they've really travelled, have they?
Yeah.
I mean,
Some of them have experienced more than you,
Yeah.
but they've broadened their horizons a bit more than you. They could probably teach you a thing or two, yeah.
Right?
And what would you hope to learn from them?
just history.
Right. From their very specific tortoise perspective. Other emails. We've had a lot of questions about time travel. People are fascinated about your approach to time travel. And I know we've talked about this in the past, but this
Here
is
we
a very
go.
specific time travel question. If you had a time machine, Karl, to what event in your childhood would you travel back to and why?
What's the point in going back to things that you thought? No, it's just that it's never as good, is it? It's like a place you go on holiday, and you go back thinking it'll be as good as
True.
the first time. It never is. So I don't believe in going back to places.
What
and all that.
what do you understand the question as? Do you think they're asking? Would you go back like a ghost and spy? Would you go back and you've got your childhood back? You are that child again. You're in the body. You are the child.
Right.
Or you've got your adult head and experiences on. You know,
Rick, I really don't think Karl was thinking there was any of those variations. Let's be honest. Now that you flagged
I
them
think he was thinking of him as he is now in school with a cap on.
up. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, but
Too big
6
for the
foot.
chairs.
yeah. Come on.
No, I don't think I would go back. It's all happened now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an
true.
email for our own amusement.
Well, okay. Well,
Choose an event. Okay, forget the time travel thing. Well,
no, hang on. I think let's clarify one of Ricky's points. What if you could go back and you could live that moment again? How would you do it differently?
There's been times where I've gone.
A lot
oh,
of
that
times
was a
in
bit
my
out
life
of
I
order or
do
whatever.
differently.
But then you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So I don't want to go back and
Right.
change stuff because it's like that thing that they go on about, innit, where they blame the butterfly on an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to happen. If it wasn't that butterfly, it's another one. So why pass the buck, is what I'm saying.
So you've got no regrets. There's nothing in your past you'd
what
want to
about-
change or do
what-
differently.
What about if you went back and you spied like a ghost on something? You couldn't change anything, but you could have a look at someone and just sort of look like
Like what?
like Ebenezer Scrooge does at the Ghost of Christmas Past. He goes back and he's sort of like looking at himself dancing and stuff. What would you do? What would you go back and have a look at?
Yeah, but you're asking me to change. I don't want to change.
He has-
it.
You're not
no,
changing,
don't
you're just
change anything.
observing.
It's impossible.
All right, I tell
this
you what.
question, this is it's not going to happen. You're not going to have to do this. It's impossible.
Right, yeah, I nearly died once, didn't I? On an ice pop.
Right.
Right? Now,
Okay.
maybe if I would have died, I'd say, well, let's go back to that, and I won't have an ice pop.
You wouldn't be doing the podcast if you'd have died. You wouldn't be having this email put to you. What are you
That's
talking
absurd.
about?
You're now saying
True.
you're rewriting history
Very
and then going
true.
back to change it.
Very true.
There's no need. You,
You
didn't die.
And we've changed it. You can't change anything. You're just going to go back and watch them. Would you like to go back and watch yourself choking on a Mr. Freeze?
No,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't
No.
go back now, because I'm all right. I haven't had one since. I've learnt a lesson. I'm not missing them ice pops. So
I don't think you're making the most of this opportunity to fantasise.
I don't see the point in going back in anything. I mean, do you mean go back in time to the point of you can see like Rome in its working day?
What, in your
wasn't the
childhood?
question.
Was Rome about when in your childhood? Were there gladiators
Well,
in
that's
your
what I'm
Yes.
childhood?
saying. Everything I've been
Gladiators
through, I've
eating
been
ice
through, so
cream
why
with
see
him.
it again?
That's why
Forget
he choked.
it. It was just a nice little question.
I mean, that shows the lack of imagination
Right,
in Karl
alright,
Pilkington.
can
Your
I-
mind can't
alright,
fathom
what-
something unless it's like, got two heads.
But I don't see the point in doing something twice.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, say if there's one good moment when I was about 6 that I loved, I'd then have to go through all the other 20 years again.
Well, why? Why have you imposed that? It's a fantasy. Make it up.
You could go back and come back
Yeah,
again.
whiz back and fast forward 35 years.
Nah.
Brilliant. No. Like it was on offer. Like this was really on offer. Move on.
Migrant workers in South China are wearing adult diapers on packed trains heading home for the New Year holiday because they've got no access to the toilet. Many supermarkets in this particular part of China have reported a 50% increase in sales of
Wow.
adult nappies for the train trips. Now, what do you make of that, Carl? You're on a long, long train journey, 3 hours, 4 hours.
You know there's no toilet. You know you're going to need to go. Pop on a...
Why isn't there any toilets?
They just aren't on the trains.
And they're a really long journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long?
Hours.
Very long in China. It's a big country.
Yep.
I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd have to hold it in or something. Just like I mean, when I was a young kid, I don't know how young you are when you wear a nappy and that, but I remember that I didn't like it doing it in a pair of pants like that, a pair of nappies and that. And I used to have to even when I was too small to sort of get up on the toilet and that because you'd fall in. My mum knew that I didn't like nappies and that. I used to just go in the corner, just near the kitchen, in this thing that like a litter tray. I'd go there and I'd do my thing. And my mum used to say, "Oh, he's going there. Don't look at him," and that because it put me off.
God.
You know, like cats don't like being watched when they do it.
When they go in their litter tray in the kitchen.
No, they don't. They don't like it. I
Look,
tested it
what
again.
are you, just like a little feral kid, just running around and going to the litter tray, covering it up, and then running up the curtain and eating a sweet at the top of the pelmet?
Right.
No, but nobody likes being watched, and that's what I'm saying. If you're sat on a train and you're knocking one out and that, and everyone's looking at you, I don't think it'll catch on.
Sometimes it's part of the culture.
As it
They're all
got,
doing it.
honestly.
They're just sitting there. They're doing, they're reading the paper, doing Sudoku, and they're looking round when they're going. They're thinking, oh, no one knows I'm going. Everyone's thinking that, and everyone's going.
I mean, what
Right?
What are we getting to? You know what I mean? What's going on in the world that this is happening?
I know.
I mean, people have always had to travel for ages. I just don't understand why there isn't a toilet on it. We're going backwards. We're going backwards, aren't we? Why isn't there a toilet on it?
Oh my, because it's
maybe there
China.
is, but maybe people are thinking the queue is going to take forever. If you've got 125 million people
Yeah, but
going
not
back.
everybody wants to go at once. I mean, I know Chinese and all that are like at the forefront of everything that goes on in the world, inventing stuff first, but this isn't one of the best that they've come up with.
What have they invented then? The Chinese just
Loads of stuff, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
done
well,
loads
I
of stuff.
was going to ask you. You seem quite educated on the subject. But...
They did them cat mop things that I told you about.
Brilliant. I mean,
This
you
was
could've-
where you put mops on the feet of cats, was that right?
Yeah. And they
Brilliant.
wander about the house, clean up and that, wash the floor for you whilst they pottering about. They've done like hats with umbrellas on them. They've done. I mean, they're known for like coming up with stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was gunpowder, but yeah, cats with mops is good as well.
Sure, right? Yeah.
Well, now to one of our most popular features.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
This could even rival Monkey News one day. It is Monkey News. It's it's news from the point of view of a monkey, a
News
shaved
from
monkey.
Karl, yeah.
It's Karl Pilkington's diary.
Oh, he's written it down, yeah.
Ha!
Was that the jingle, or were you just,
Well, yeah,
just
sort
annoyed
of,
about
sort
something? Okay. Went and did the podcast. We had a meeting after. I don't like meetings as I can't keep focused on what people are talking about. I think Ricky has the same problem as after 25 minutes he was trying to wrestle me. I tried to do what spiders do and stayed still as if I was dead. But Ricky just stayed on top of me, not moving. A bit like when you see one of them big snakes swallowing a sheep. Ricky got bored and released me. I went home thinking, why had I left my old job for this? A homeless man asked me for some money, but I didn't feel like I should treat him as I felt that he'd probably had a better day than me. Suzanne called me to say she'd gone for a haircut and that she'd meet me in the supermarket. I went to the supermarket, but she wasn't there. I called her and she said she was near the fruit aisle. I went to the fruit aisle and she wasn't there. Turns out she was in a different supermarket on the other side of town. And that if I'd listened to her properly, I'd have known that. I didn't want to say that
Well, you just went to the first supermarket you thought of, as opposed to listening to what supermarket. I'm in the supermarket. All right, bye.
I didn't want to say that I hadn't heard her properly because my ears were ringing a bit from the wrestling from earlier. 25 minutes later, I met up with Suzanne. Her haircut wasn't that bad. Normally, her haircuts are followed by an argument between us as she pays over the odds for some daft haircut that's the latest style. Brilliant. I wish she'd take a picture out of a magazine or ask for a style rather than letting the hairdresser do what she wants. I said I only tell her to do this as she's got a square head and a close-cut hairdo makes it look squarer. She said, what do you think of this cut? I said it looked all right as I couldn't be bothered arguing about it. It's weird writing a diary. I don't know who thought of doing one of these first. The last time I did one was at school. They used to get you to do it so they could keep an eye on whatever you were up to. My diary used to say the same thing every night. Got home, went to the shop to get potatoes, bread, milk. Went home, watched telly, went to bed. I think I might have gone to Twiggy's Dance Club just so I had something different to write. You've not told us about Twiggy's Dance Club.
It's just, you know, I sort of, when I was a kid, I sort of gave everything a bit of a go. I did boxing and that, didn't I? Gave that a go.
Boxing.
About 45 minutes.
And yeah, a mate sort of said, "Oh, you know, you're into your dancing, your robotics, and that. You're doing your body popping, right? Body popping and that."
Pop
He said,
locking it.
"You ought to come to Twiggy's," and I went there, but I didn't go in. It was shut. It was they were just having like loads of toilet rolls delivered. I think like they were like using it as a storage place for toilet rolls and that. So I said, "Oh, I've come to have a dance," and like, "Oh, not tonight. Come back tomorrow." I never went back.
Brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
What a waste of an anecdote.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Brilliant.
Just to recap, you're convinced then that the teachers are asking you to keep diaries so they can keep tabs on you. And then to continue the diary, as there were more problems happening on the estate, they started to add Saturday and Sundays to the school diary to keep an eye on what we were doing at the weekend. I struggled to fill it on a Sunday as the shop I got potatoes and bread from was shut on a Sunday. I had to go over to Shepherd's Bush to meet someone. I got the tube. There was a badly burnt man on the tube. It's amazing how the body can continue through quite a lot of bad stuff. It got me thinking about how much stuff you could remove in your body, one by one, without dying. If it was a competition, the cockroach would win, as it can live for a week without a head.
I just mean like, say,
true.
you know, they're running out of ideas for TV programs and that, right? They get someone who isn't well. They go, "Look, do you mind if we make a program on you?" And what they do, they sit them in the bed and they go, "Right, what we're going to do now is take out the heart but replace it with a pacemaker." Right? go on.
No. Sorry. People with pacemakers don't have their heart taken out and a pacemaker popped in.
All right then. Some sort of machine. What I'm getting to is,
Have you been playing Operation?
what I mean
Yes.
is, what I mean is, the big finale would just be a head chatting with loads of wires going into it, and it's like, look what we can do with science.
That's what the programme's called. It's the same every week. The volunteer is just a head with loads of wires coming out.
Yeah,
All
we
we
can
can
do
do
with
is
science.
And he's going,
Goodbye. Got some post delivered to me today. It was... Oh, this is
This
great.
makes it in the diary.
Got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington.
Oh my god. Wow.
I got some post delivered to me today. It was addressed to Mr. Dilkington. I opened it and the first sentence read, "Dear Mr. K. Dilkington, you're one of our most valuable customers." I put it in the bin.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
Thought I would learn some new words, as Steve always says I don't use enough different words. I read in the Fortean Times that the word "wew" means an ugly female ghost with drooping breasts.
What do you mean?
Is that how am I pronouncing
Who's
that right?
using that word? Who is using that word?
It was just W-E-W-E.
Let's call it a woo.
Wee wee.
An ugly female ghost with drooping breasts. I think I'm right when I say there are too many words in the world. I don't think I will ever get round to using the word woo. Watched a health programme. Wasn't watching it properly, but heard some doctors say that we only get so many heartbeats in a lifetime, so don't do too much exercise. I told Suzanne, and she said I probably hadn't heard it right. We got talking about death. Suzanne said she didn't like thinking about it. I said she might end up being a woo. I was chuffed as I'd managed to use my new word. I went to the supermarket to get tonight's tea. On the way, I stopped and looked in the fishmongers at all the different fish they had in the window. It's like a child in one of those kids' TV shows.
I know.
Mr. Pilkington went to the fishmonger. He stopped and looked at all the fish in the window.
Hello, Mr. Dilkington, they said.
There was a newspaper clipping stuck on the glass about a two-headed fish that they've made in Taiwan. I don't see the point in doing this, as a fish having two heads ain't going to solve the world's hunger problems, as the head is the bit you throw away. Invent a fish with two bodies, and I'd say well done.
Good point, isn't it?
Suzanne
actually a
watched one
good
of her
point,
favourite
yeah.
TV programmes. I've told her the telly only goes on if there's something she wants to watch. If there's nothing on, she has to talk to me about stuff I've learnt. Like Descartes. Watched a programme on him the other day. He is the one who said something like, I know I'm about because I dream. Doesn't work for everything because ants don't sleep. I don't know if I'd like that or not. You don't know if you would like it if you didn't ever
I'm not
sleep.
sleeping. It's just one long day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know how you put up with that. Do you think it'd be a good idea?
No.
Why not?
Because, as you said, it would get a bit boring. You know, your sleep is your rest, your time off. It helps you detoxify. It helps you sort of think things through on a subconscious level.
But don't you ever get it where, I mean, sometimes it's brilliant to have a sleep when you're tired, but don't you sometimes feel
that's
like...
the best time to have a sleep when you're tired.
No,
yeah.
but sometimes when you go to bed and you're not that tired and you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to waste some hours of my life now and I'm not really in the mood for this.
Well, that's
sleeping.
just wishing you had longer on this earth doing creative things. I mean, if you didn't have to sleep, you could spend more time talking to a tortoise and going to the toffee shop.
Well, it's that time again. If you'd give us the jingle, please.
Oh, chimpanzee that.
Wow. That was a
Okay,
good
now
twist.
that surely cannot be fair on anyone's ears listening.
Right. Ages ago, right, about the 1950s,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there was this gangster knocking about. And do you know how, like,
Was he called Hairy Fingers?
do you know how, like, a lot of gangsters like to get into gambling and that?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, like all his peers and that, all these mates who are like gangsters and stuff, they've all bought horses, right? That they take racing and they make money from them. That don't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, he
And
was
Chuckles the Seagull was no different.
and he was like, yeah, that's a good thing to get into. I might get into a bit of that, right? So he gets himself this horse, right? And there's a big race coming up. That's why he's he's a bit of a last minute.
And the jockey turns up and it's fine. He's a human jockey and it's fine. Excellent. Okay, well, that was another podcast.
So anyway, so
Please listen
Oh, hang on,
next.
there's more. There's more.
So anyway, this big race is coming up. He's like, I've got to be involved in this because
definitely.
I can make a lot of money out of my horse here.
Choose the jockey wisely, then.
So he says to his mate, he said, look, I've got myself a horse and that. He said, we just need a jockey, get someone to sort it out and what have you, so we can get in this race. So
Go to the jockey
his,
club.
His
Loads of
mate's
people.
like, yeah, all right, I'll have a
jockey
word
club.
and that, have a look round and that, see if there's anyone decent.
And the
knocking
good
out
thing
there.
about jockeys is there's never been a shortage of jockeys because a lot of them don't make the grade. So there's always too many jockeys to go round.
Always too many human jockeys.
Yeah, there's never a problem getting jockeys.
Fine.
Go on.
So anyway, right, so
Yay.
his mate says, look, I'm having a problem getting a jockey.
Seems odd because
no, this
Ricky's
is
just
weird.
been saying.
I don't know.
He's just been saying it's not a problem.
What do you mean? So
Just because the main problem was
Go on.
a lot of jockeys were aware of this gangster and were saying, I'm not getting involved with this guy. The chances are I won't get paid is a gangster. It's not
No,
worth
you
it.
would do it if it was a gangster asking you. Mm-hmm. You'd be scared of the consequences.
So anyway, he's saying, look, don't be coming to me with problems and that, right? I've got the horse. I want it in the race. Sort it out. So they're like, oh, but boss. And he's like, don't give me any of that. Go
Exactly.
sort it out.
They do what he says, so any jockey would do it. Go on.
So anyway, so the day before,
The big race, yeah. Left it to the last minute, okay, but
Yeah.
fine.
and he says, have you got a jockey then? They're like, yeah, but, and he's going, don't worry about it. Have you got a jockey? Yeah, but, and he's like, well, look.
He wants
what-
to say, sure. Yeah,
So
they will.
There it
he's
comes.
saying, has he ridden the horses before and that? He said, well, yeah, he has, but mainly, and he's like brilliant. And he goes, yeah, but mainly in like a
in
circus.
the jung
No, like in the circus and that. He'd worked with horses and stuff.
in the
apparently.
circus.
It's fine.
So he's like, that's enough. That's all I need to know.
Well, they'd be too heavy because circus people are quite built, aren't they? They're be
said
a bit
so.
heavier than the jockey because the jockeys are about 8.5 stone.
He said,
Yeah.
brilliant. Get him down there and that, right? Anyway, the race happens.
He didn't want to meet him beforehand. He wasn't worried.
No
about
point.
that.
Not
No,
bothered.
no.
As far as he's concerned,
It's all
he's
sorted.
putting his money on it and what have you.
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
What happened is they were trying to make him put on the jockey outfit,
Yeah.
but for some reason it didn't fit that well.
Sleeves
And
too
it was-
short,
it was
legs too long.
It's that sort of problem.
Okay.
So they let him, wear his stuff that he wore in the circus and that, because it's comfortable with that. He's happy with it. Do you know what I mean?
course,
That's what he's
yeah,
happy
let
with. Anyway, race starts and what have you. This horse straight out of the trap and that, high speed, right? This jockey's got a really big grin on his face. He's loving it, right? Everyone's cheering, going, "Who's this? Who's this jockey?"
Yeah.
It's amazing. Never seen him before, and yet look at him.
But they can see his face clearly.
Anyway, Gangster's happy in that because he's won.
But I just want to say the crowd can see the jockey, can they?
What?
The crowd can. I mean, it's
Yeah, but
face
he's
not-
so fast and what have
The
you.
blur, it's a blur.
So
it's all
fast.
blur.
He's really,
Yeah.
he's good at it. I mean, apparently he was
Right.
close to falling off, and people were like, he's gone, he's a goner.
Right.
He's got such a good reach that he managed to grab hold of
Oh,
the...
sure.
Good reach, oh.
At the end of it, like the winner sort of rides around the crowd bit,
Yeah.
to sort of, show off and what have you.
Yeah,
And all the women are there, and like women are all dolled up at these events.
sure.
They've all got big hats on.
Sometimes they got fruit on those hats.
Yeah.
Right.
Give it a banana. Give it a banana.
One of the women,
In
one
the
of the
50s,
women,
particularly, Carmen Miranda was very popular. Yeah.
one of the women had like you say, fruit and what have you on it,
Yeah.
a little banana.
Right, some kind of
They're
Cuban
not real.
woman.
They're not real though. The hats. They're
Not real fruit, is it?
No, of
Yeah.
course not. Never.
So it-
But I don't know
Really?
who. I thought they wore those sort of kind of Cuban
Yeah, but
entertainment shows. I didn't realise they wore them
yeah,
at
but
events.
even if it's like a big event, you might have a hat with fruit, and it's sort of joke, but it's fake fruit because it would
Yeah.
perish. It
well,
would.
this jockey didn't understand that. He'd never seen false fruit.
I don't understand.
Oh no!
So why are you so desperate for fruit? I don't understand.
So anyway, meanwhile, the gangster's collecting his 500 quid winnings. Right?
Yeah.
He's over the moon. He kicks off because of this woman with the fruit.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still don't understand why the jockey would go.
Everyone noticed. Jockey, little monkey fella.
Oh, that makes sense. If he was a monkey, that would make sense.
Yeah.
What year was this? Because I want to.
It was 1950s, and that's where the saying comes from about, like in Cockney slang, 500 quid is a monkey. He sort of put, he put a monkey on it, and it all goes back to the time when
So this happened in
Interesting.
England.
in this country,
It
yeah, in the
happened in England. So
1950s.
someone could well still be alive that we could easily
yeah.
contact. That
Well,
would
that's it.
confirm
We
that,
always,
'cause they were at the
there's no
event.
time length on this monkey news. If you've got any, if it's history, if it goes back,
Or if it's
years
made
ago,
up, bullshit.
just send it in.
If it's bollocks,
got
send
any
it in.
bollocks
If it's
that you
absolute
wanna
bollocks,
send in?
please send it in.
That's this week's monkey news.
So good. Oh my gosh. This entire episode had me just laughing the whole way through. This so far is the best episode I've seen. That was hysterical. Carl Dilkington, get out of here. You gotta be making that up. That's so freaking funny. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys did too. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Stay safe and don't forget to wash your hands. Bye.